Good afternoon, everyone. Actually, good morning. It is not yet afternoon. So, first off, welcome. My name is Kimberly Trimmel. I'd like to welcome you to a couple things, my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, whichever one you happen to be joining me on. My name again is Kimberly Trimmel. And for those of you who jumped on a moment ago and I did this, there was something that was inaccurate, or not inaccurate, there was a typo. So I had to fix that. So we are starting from scratch. So if you're joining me, first off, welcome. My name is Kimberly Trimmel. And I wanted to preface what I'm about to say. I want to tell you why I'm doing this. So this specifically is for youth. So again, if you joined me before, thank you for being there. If you're back, thank you for coming back. But anyhow, what is this movement or this initiative? As you know, I'm a certified and licensed John Maxwell speaker, trainer, and coach. And so what that does is it allows me to bring John Maxwell content to various places, schools, churches, businesses, and depending upon what the need is, that's kind of how I tailor, what I'm doing. So if it's a business or a brokerage, then I'll tailor it to that. But one of the things I've had a burden on my heart for is our youth. Just being aware that the youth today, they face so many challenges. They struggle with confidence. They struggle with fear of failure. They struggle with bullying. And sometimes it's even a person who's bullying, and they're doing it, on their cell phone, or they're doing it on the internet. You actually don't even see them, but verbally they're bullying people. So as parents and as teachers and as leaders and of course grandparents, good news is that we can do something about it. You and your youth are invited to participate with me today on this Global Youth Initiative. Just to kind of let you know what this is a world-changing youth movement. The Global Youth Initiative continues to inspire and change and initiate transformation in communities and in their youth. So simply by jumping on today, you actually have the ability to learn about it, and you actually have an ability to learn about it, and you actually have the ability to participate in it. So my goal today is to just share some information with you. I'm going to read a book in the past I've read to you, not to you. Well, I read it to this audience, and with the intention of you sharing it. So what is this initiative all about? Well, you and your children are invited to participate in this world-changing youth movement. The ideal behind it is that it will empower our children to be the change that they wish to see in the world. It's called Global Youth Initiative. John Maxwell team members have hosted over 465,000 youth at nearly 2,000 events in 52 countries. And this is the opportunity. This happens from April to October every year. And youth who attend these events are equipped, inspired, and empowered to have a positive self-image, respect for themselves, and of course, respect for others, to be a positive influence on others, and to also fail forward. We all know that we fail, but it's what we do with that failure that matters. These events are free. They're intended to be free, and they're open to everybody. So whether you're a parent, or whether you are a grandparent, or whether you are a teacher or you're homeschooling, please feel free to share this. It's all based on John Maxwell's content. The particular book is called Sometimes You Win and Sometimes You Lose. That's not true. That is what we normally think about it. That is inaccurate. Sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. We don't actually lose. So I'd like to say that that was intentionally done. But I think that's the first pivot of the mindset, is that our common way of thinking is that you either win or you lose. But that's not what John Maxwell says. Maxwell says you either win or you learn. So we're going to reframe that. And as you can see, it was so simple for me to almost just off the cuff. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but change the channel on that. Help your children, help your grandchildren change the channel on that. Sometimes you win, yes, but sometimes you learn, that's also good. So this is free and it's open to all children and youth groups ages 8 to 18. The Global Youth Initiative continues to inspire change and initiate transformation in the communities across the globe. If you want more information on it, feel free to let me know. So this is the book, and again, I've read this before, but if you either have children or you know somebody that does, feel free to invite them to just sit around you, sit in your lap. Let me read it to them. However, the next best step is if you want to go to Amazon, you can actually buy this book and you can read it to your children or your grandchildren and help them reframe the idea of maybe not making it the first time, but to continue with the positive attitude and make it on the second time. So I'm going to show you something else really quick before I start. This is the book that's actually for teens or people who are older than the 8 to 18 age group. I'm not going to read this to you because as you can see, it's quite the read. However, there is opportunity if you would like to have a conversation with your church group, your Cub Scouts, your Boy Scouts, your Girl Scouts, your family. If you'd like to talk about how this could apply to them, I actually facilitate something that's similar to a book study that we could talk about based on this material for the youth. If you think about it, as I opened up with youth, no matter what age they're in, they're faced with, as I said, lack of confidence, being cyberbullied. All of these things are important, and actually they're concerning to me. Though my children are older, I think everybody, faces this at some point. Back in the day, it was the children on the recess playground, right? But now it's people on the other side of the internet. I mean, people are getting bullied, children, that is. And then you add to that the fact that you have children that can't even go outside to play the way they were doing before March. And so now you have a whole community issue going on. We've got to remember that what's happening now is going to affect our children going in the future. So think about, can you imagine living in a world where everyone you see has a face covering? One that they didn't normally wear. Previously. Now, clearly there's cultures that you wear that and they're accustomed to that. But now we're talking about, we all have gotten to become accustomed to a modification of a face covering. And because of that, there's even more things that our children are dealing with, which we can get through. So I'm going to read this to you. It's called Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. As you can see, it's by John C. Maxwell. Feel free to share it with your children or anyone who has children. And on this platform, I'm actually streaming live to both Facebook as well as YouTube. It's on StreamYard. At the bottom of your screen, you should see the ability to allow StreamYard to accept your likes and things like that. I miss interaction when I do this way. But if you'd like to send a like or a smile, I'd really like that. Or if you just want to remark, that's fine too. So this says, meet Wendy and Wade. Wendy and Wade love to play their favorite sport. Their favorite sport is woggle ball. And like most kids, they like to win. But after a disappointing loss leaves Wendy and Wade ready to quit, they turn to their grandpa for advice. Papa tells them woggles are winners. Yes, that much is true. But whether you win depends on you. Winning takes effort. This much you will see. What you learn from your loss can bring victory. And sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. This speaks about showing children that all they have to do is have the right attitude in order to sustain and turn any loss around. So this is written to the children, to the parents of the children that have asked that John Maxwell write a book for children. And that is this. So that said, welcome to Woggletown. One moment, please. Welcome to Woggletown. It's going to say, welcome to Woggletown, a bustling place where kids play together in green open space. They romp and they race, they jump and they spin. For Woggles, like most kids, really love to win. Meet brother and sister Wendy and Wade, who have finally reached woggle ball age. Wade is the short one. He's funny and loud. Wendy is tall and she stands out in a crowd. So there's your first introduction to them. Let me move this mic over a little bit. Get this out of the way. Stand by. All right, so now we know that they like to win. Well, we all know we like to win, right? How many of us like to win, right? So let's see what happens next. They both want to win, so to Papa they go. He's old and he's wise, and he'll certainly know. Let's ask him, let's visit, they both start to say. They jump on their scooters and they zoom away. Papa, please tell us the secret to winning. He hugs them both tight and says while he's grinning, all's well that begins well. Keep hope in your heart. Think positive thoughts. That's how all winners start. So that's them scooting over to see Grandpa, and that's Grandpa telling them that we just have to start well and keep our positive attitude going. Woggle ball looks simple when you first see the sport. The court is not long and the baskets are short. It seems to be easy, but of course it is not. There is no way to win without a positive thought. The other team's mighty and soon gains the lead. They outmatch the Woggles in skill and in speed. Wendy starts dragging and says, this isn't fun. She gives up hope before the game's even done. They've hardly even started, and she's ready to quit, right? Papa finds the kids grumpy after the game. Wade kicks the dirt while Wendy complains. But Papa won't have it. He says, when you're through, I have winning wisdom I'd like to give you. So first off, he gave them the space to have a fit. Once they were done with the fit, he said he'd give them some advice. So we all have that moment, and I'm sure our children do too, when they are really frustrated. We have to give them the space to do that. Let's see what Grandpa does next. They all go for ice cream, and that does the trick. Wade and Wendy feel better. Their mood is over quick. Papa gives them a hug. He's no longer stern. Get rest, and tomorrow we'll have time to learn. There we go. So this is them having a fit. This is them relaxing and talking about it. So the next thing that happens is too often we're angry when things don't go right. Let go of your loss. Yesterday ended last night. The first step to take in a winning direction is to work on yourself and your attitude correction. Woggles are winners, yes, that much is true. But whether you win depends on you. Winning takes effort, this much is true, and this much you will see. What you learn from your loss can bring victory. So that's them swinging on the front porch. That could be at a park. It doesn't have to be a person's front porch. We know not everybody has front porches. We may not have a front porch screen. I'm trying to make it straight. But whatever that is, sitting around your table, having conversations with your children. Wade turns toward Wendy and they start to smile. Their attitudes have already changed by a mile. Wade says, be positive. That's what we'll do. But what else, Papa? Will you give us the next clue? Just take it inch by inch, then yard by yard. If you win in small steps, it's not quite as hard. So that's them getting ready to go out and play again. In the very next day, they run fast and play strong. Wade dodges and jumps and yells, Wendy, go long. The Woggle team tries with all of their might, but in the end, it's the same. They lost the fight. After the game, the kids are tired but proud, and they smile as they walk, high-fiving the crowd. Wendy and Wade say to Papa together, we didn't win, but at least we got better. When things don't go well and a loss comes your way, the question is what did I learn today? Always do your best, then stretch to get better. Go further, be a go-getter. So when things are harder than at first they may seem, it's improvement that matters most to a team. Woggles are winners, yes, this much is true, but whether you win depends upon you. Winning takes effort, this much you will see. What you learn from your loss can bring victory. The kids want to improve, so they work extra hard. They're shooting and passing and learning to guard. Practice is tiring, but as Papa would say, winning takes work. It's uphill all the way. Quitting is for quitters. They never win. A loss is a loss until you make it a win. Game day is here. The whole team is ready. The opponents are good, but the Woggles hold steady. It's a close match, and the kids never quit. Raid reminds Wendy, try to win bit by bit. The kids hustle and bustle, and then they take their lead. The Woggles are smaller, but they surely have speed. 1 second is left, and a cheer from the crowd. Wendy and Wade see their papa is proud. If you look at the scoreboard, they actually won in this instance. They won the game. We all like to win, yes, that much is true, but whether you win depends upon you. Take this lesson to heart and say with a grin, sometimes you learn, sometimes you win. So they all went out and they celebrated. They had ice cream. And I'm sure we'd have to modify this for today, but still they celebrated. Celebrate your small wins as well. So when we look at the back, it says, this is a note from Papa. That's John Maxwell. I love asking 2 questions of Wendy and Wade to teach them to think what a difference it's made. Since you finished the story, now it's your turn to tell me, what did you love and what did you learn? So a good conversation to have with your children at the end of the day, even your adult children, and I'm working on this. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it, is like, what did you love? Like, what did you love about today? What did you learn today? Because it's both. Either we love something a lot or we learn something, or both. So it says, dear parent, this is a message to you from John Maxwell. One of the most important things you can do for children is to help them understand that life is made up of highs and lows, successes and failures. And it's important to know how to positively handle setbacks when they do come. And he goes on to say, I was fortunate enough to learn these lessons from my parents, Melvin and Laura Maxwell. My father continually challenged me to get back up whenever I was knocked down, to learn from my mistakes and keep trying, all while maintaining a positive attitude. My mother gave me the security of knowing that no matter what I did wrong or how badly, if I messed up, she was going to support my next attempt and keep loving me unconditionally. My wife, Margaret, and I have tried to pass these lessons on to our 2 children. Now we're teaching them to our 5 grandchildren. And nothing would please us more than helping people like you to pass them on to your children. Read the story with your children. Ask questions about the difficulties they are experiencing. Share how you've learned from your mistakes and how that has helped you succeed afterwards. Encourage your children to learn how to win bit by bit. And most important, reassure them that whether they win or whether they lose, you'll always love them unconditionally. And he signs that, your friend, John C. Maxwell. So again, this book, you can find it on Amazon, and it's called Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. And it is a way to help your children reframe setbacks. Again, our children are dealing with a lot of shifts in their life. Again, imagine not being able to do some of the things we used to do. So hopefully you found value in that. I know I've read it before, but with it being the Global Youth Initiative time, I wanted to read it again. And that's it. So thank you so much for listening. And you can either watch this on Facebook, share it that way. You can jump on my YouTube channel after I repost this. And you will be able to share it with anyone who has children or grandchildren. And of course, you can buy the book and you can read it to your children yourself. I'm sure they'd like that. Children do still like being read to. Even like when I was pregnant with my children, I have 4. I would read to my children before they were born, right? Talk to them, play music for them. So those are just some suggestions to help build and implant positivity into your children. So thank you. Have a great day. Be well. Talk to you again later.